Hi, everybody. So I've noticed that there have been some people who have searched for a comparison of the yellow box versus the University Books Tarot. And I haven't seen one, so I thought I would do one. And I'm adding the Albano Waite because all of these decks are from the same time period. I'm using my copy of a pre-copyright Sunburnt Magician. Here's the back of it. And I don't have the little white book for this, but I'm guessing it's early 70s. This is the University Books Tarot, and it is definitely early 70s. This was my very, very first deck, actually. And actually, I didn't even have a box for this, but somebody was selling them on eBay. So I was very, very lucky to actually get a box for that. This is the Albano Waite. I don't have the box for that. This is a 1968 version that I've had since 1968, or excuse me, had since the early 70s because somebody gave it to me without a box. And I thought I would do a flip through for all of these for you. Now, the back of the Sunburnt Magician, or the yellow box. This is a beautiful, beautiful cardstock. You can see it's very matte. You don't even hardly see a glare on there. This is the back. I love these backs of the University Deck Tarot. This cardstock is pretty substantial. It's really, really nice. It's not like the yellow boxes now. As far as glossiness, I don't have one of the current yellow boxes. I know that they're a lot glossier, though. This is a thinner cardstock, but I don't know. It never bothered me. It was my first deck, like I say. And this is probably about the same, maybe a little bit thicker, but not noticeably so. I mean, you can tell here that's about the same. This is a few cards thicker. So, okay. So let me push the camera in and do a flip through. So those of you who are familiar with the Albano Waite know that the coloring is completely different than the yellow box decks, and you'll see that as we go through it. The difference with the University Waite is the color scheme is very much the same, pretty similar colors, except they're much brighter. Some people call them garish. I do not. Like I say, this was my first deck, and I love this deck. And a lot of people I've heard say, which is true, that the printing was not good on it, that there were a lot of printing errors on it, which you'll see as we go through. But again, it never bothered me because it was my first deck, and you know how you feel about your first deck. So, okay, here's your Fools. You can see the difference in the color here, the purples. You want to see how much brighter that is. And these colors may be a lot more saturated in the current version of the yellow box. The vintage decks usually have a lot more normal colors. I'm going to say they're not so saturated. You can see the difference. I love this purple. I love the color of these wings and the purple in the mountains. You see the difference there. It's generally deeper. Remember, this is the Albano, so they're going to have some definitely different colors. And again, in the more current decks, I don't think that they have this beautiful kind of egg, robin's egg blue. It's probably a lot more primary color, but that is a beautiful, beautiful color. And you can see on here the printing, how the printing is off. I don't know if you can see it here. Well, there's other ones you can see better, so I'll wait to show you there. Which you can see just how this is just a little bit brighter. Has a little bit more pop. And actually, I'm surprised that some of the Albano ones are so similar, actually, to this one. And most of the Albano stuff is so, so different. And here they're all not so different. And here's these beautiful purple and pinks in the wings again. I just love that. Just love that. Again, it's interesting. These two are not all that different. This is the Albano. This is the University Books. Has a gray. The University Book uses this gray background. Very interesting. I just love the blues of these vintage ducks. Again, those beautiful pink and purple wings. Makes it pop just a bit. And those ones, just all one color. What's really nice about these older ducks is, isn't that line work just so beautiful? Just really, really crisp and clear line work, which is definitely something University Books does not have. Here's where you can see how that color bleeds over into the border. Let's see how different the Albano is in some of these. The thing is, when these came out, these two, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but the University Books and the Albano were really two of the only recolored decks to make them a little bit brighter and different than what had always been. Now there's tons of them. Interesting, the Albano has gold swords. It doesn't have the shadow on it, but it has little jewels. You see the jewels on there? And once again, this beautiful robin eggs blue. That is just a gorgeous card. Just a gorgeous card. A lot brighter here. And here's one where you can really see the problem with the printing. Really bleeds there. And like I said, I just never noticed when I was using these cards as my first deck. I mean, I noticed it. I just didn't think about it. It didn't bother me. And yeah, saw somebody else talking about that they didn't like this deck because it was blurry. This is one of the ones that actually looks blurry. I think there's a queen that looks blurry too, but this is the one that stands out because of that printing error. Let's see how blurry it is. How clean these two are. The face is so clear on that one. Yeah, there's the one that's kind of a little bit blurry. And here's where they're using kind of a tealish robin eggs blue, where these guys are gray. I just love that University Books deck, though. There's just something about it. I don't know if it's because it was my first deck, but there's just a pop to it that I love. Hmm. Interesting. The two skies are not too different, but whereas the swords in this deck are silver, and here they're gold, they're flipped on the cups here. Interesting. So gold cups here, silver cups here. Skies are not so different. Funny things that you see when you're doing a flip through comparison. And of course, this suit of wands is where the Albano really sticks out with those orange skies. I think he did that because of the element of fire. In fact, I think that's why he did all of this one when I go back and think about it. And you can see how well used this deck is. That's not somebody doing a vintage thing. That's just my using it. Yeah, here's one where you see how clear the line work is. Comparison. You really see his face on that vintage deck. It's interesting too, is you can see, I think you can see the line work on their legs, on his legs. In the Albano deck, they used a different process. It's just a plain, doesn't have that line work like Pixie used. Beautiful sky again on those. That vintage deck. And again, you just see how this just pops. Just pops a little. Oops, sorry. When it's really dark along there, it's increasingly less detail as you see on that platform she's on. And the King of Wands. And I'll tell you, this is how I know that this is an original first edition deck. Do you see this little flaw here? You can see that little flaw there. That is a printing flaw, and it indicates that that this deck is a 1968 first edition. And I think, oh gosh, I think there's another woman that did a whole thing on a couple of different Albano decks, comparing the old one to the new one. I think her name is Lisa as well. So I apologize if I'm misappropriating that, but I thank her for letting me know about that since I don't have the box. So anyway, there's the differences. Flip through between this one happens to be pre-copyright Sunburnt Magician, and the University Books Tarot, and the 1968 version of the Albano Waite. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you have, please hit that like button and hit the subscribe. I'm going to be trying to do more of these, and I'm just enjoying it. So I hope to see you again. Thanks much. Bye-bye.